I don't want to keep everybody waiting, and Representative Carney is having votes in insurance, but Representative Patterson and Senator Sawyer are in the House, and they don't do just a fine job of filling in, and hopefully Representative Carney will be able to make it. He's right there. Yes. All right. Thank you for joining us this morning for the announcement of the new charter school legislation. In 1998, there were only 15 charter schools in Ohio. Those 15 charters received $11 million in state funding. Today we spend $900 million in nearly 400 charter schools. The growing problem is we don't know how most of these taxpayer dollars are being spent. And some of the sponsors and management companies that operate these schools systematically hide information from the public. Charters are supposed to follow the same public records and sunshine laws as traditional public schools. But the reports of the Akron-Beacon Journal and other newspapers have exposed problems with transparency and accountability that cannot be ignored. More than 100 charter schools contacted by the Beacon Journal for a recent story failed or refused to provide basic information, such as how to contact the school board or even the time that the school board meeting is being held. This issue of transparency and accountability takes on an even greater importance when you consider that 87% of charter schools received a D or an F on the performance index when examining the most recent state report cards. These failures waste taxpayer dollars and cheat the students of the educational opportunities that they are promised and deserve. That's why we're introducing legislation to require the non-public sponsors and operators of charter schools to comply with the public records laws, the same way that traditional public schools do. In addition, each charter school would be required to establish a records commission. Again, this is already a requirement with traditional public schools. These changes are urgently needed to ensure that our school children receive the education they deserve and that taxpayer dollars are not wasted. When the Beacon Journal asked Governor Kasich about this issue, he said, quote, "We'll work with you any way we can. If you're really not finding out where these dollars are going and how these schools are performing, you ought to have access to that." I'm expecting that he will support this legislation since it directly addresses his concerns. I now want to turn the podium over to Representative Carney.